Hi, I'm Megan and welcome to my kitchen. Today I will be sharing two easy and delicious soup recipes with you, clam chowder and craving beans. Today's video is the third annual fall soup collab hosted by Kat at Southern Farm and Kitchen. I'll have Kat's channel linked in the description box below. She is so funny. I love watching her videos. As soon as you're done watching my video, be sure to check out Kat's channel and the collab playlist for lots of other yummy soup recipes. If you're coming to my channel from the playlist, welcome. I do weekly what's for dinner videos and grocery hauls, plus recipes and more. I hope you take a look around my channel and that you'll consider subscribing. If you're a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate it. Let's get into these two recipes. First up, I tried a new recipe for a clam chowder. This recipe was given to me from a lady that I go to church with named Janice. She was kind enough to share the recipe with me and it was delicious. Let me show you how I made it. Here are the ingredients that you'll need. I'll include the recipe in the description box below, which will have the amounts. Quick note, I am having the recipe. It made plenty for my husband and I for dinner, and then we have leftovers. So you'll need an onion that has been finely diced. The recipe calls for celery, but I can't stand celery, so I omitted it. You'll need bacon, all-purpose flour. You'll need either chicken or vegetable stock, or you could also use clam juice. I'm just using water and some chicken bouillon. You'll need cans of chopped clams and their juice. You don't want to drain the juice away from the clams. Corn, heavy cream, bay leaves. You'll need a few potatoes that have been washed, peeled, and then cut into about 1/2-inch cubes. Some salt and pepper. And if you're not using bacon, or if you don't have a lot of bacon grease in the bacon that you're using, you might also need some butter. And my husband has been wanting soup in a bread bowl lately, so I ran to Panera and grabbed a couple bread bowls. I think you got 2 of them for $3 and something, so it wasn't bad price, but that's what's in the Ziploc bag to the left. I chopped up my bacon into pieces. I'm going to add it to this pot, turn the heat on about medium, and then cook the bacon until it's nice and crisp. Once the bacon is nice and crispy, I'm going to remove it with a slotted spoon to a paper towel lined bowl, and then I'm going to set that aside. Now, if you don't have a lot of bacon grease, or if you're not using bacon at all, here's where you would add the butter. I'm going to add the diced onion, and if you're using celery, you would add it here as well. I'm going to give that a stir and cook that for a few moments until the vegetables are nice and tender. Next, I'm going to add in the flour and stir that, and then cook that for just a minute or two until the flour taste is cooked out. Next, I'm going to add my chicken stock, and then I'm going to add the juice from the cans of clams. You don't want to add the clams at this point. You just want to add the juice from those clams. I'm adding the heavy whipping cream, the bay leaf, the corn, and the potatoes, and I'm going to stir that until it's well combined. I'm going to bring this to a boil and then turn the heat down to low and cook this for about 20 minutes or until the potatoes are nice and tender. When the soup is almost done, I'm going to get my bread bowls ready. So I just took the bread bowl, placed it on a cookie sheet. I placed it into an oven. I think I had it set at 300 degrees, and I just baked it for about 5 to 7 minutes or until it was nice and warm. Once those potatoes were nice and tender in the chowder, I'm going to add in the drained clams, give this a stir, and cook this for just about 2 minutes, and then that's basically it. Now, I'm going to add in some of these bacon pieces. I didn't fry up enough bacon, so I just added a couple tablespoons. I'm going to season this with some salt and pepper to taste, and that's it. This clam chowder is done. This was so easy. It was quick. It took maybe 30 minutes from start to finish, and it was delicious. I'm not normally a clam chowder fan, but it was really good. I recommend you all give this recipe a try. So here's that finished clam chowder, and then here are the warmed up bread bowls. Next, I will show you our plate. To serve this up, I just added some of the cooked and crumbled bacon, and then I didn't have any fresh chives on hand, so I just used some dried, and that was our dinner. It was such a good, comforting, hearty meal. I can't wait to make this again. Next up, I tried a new recipe for something called craving beans. Now, this may or may not fit your definition of a soup. We're going to call it, like Rachel Ray says, a stoop, somewhere between a soup and a stew. But this was really easy. If you like beanie weenies, I think you will really enjoy this. And this was super easy and super budget friendly. So let me show you how I made it. This recipe will also be linked down below. This is so easy. You just need a few ingredients. You need brown sugar, mustard, ketchup, The recipe calls for chopped onion. I didn't feel like chopping it, so I'm just using onion powder. Baked beans. The recipe calls for butter beans. I just had lima beans on hand, so that's what I'm going to use. You'll need kidney beans. I prefer dark red, so that's what I'm using. If you prefer light red, use those. And if you don't like lima beans, butter beans, or kidney beans, just use whatever beans you do like. You'll need salt and pepper, and then you'll need hot dogs of your choice, and you'll want to slice those up. The recipe gives instructions on how to cook this in the slow cooker and on top of the stove. If you're cooking this in your slow cooker, you'll add all of the ingredients to your crock pot and then cook this on high for about 3 hours or on low for 4 to 5 hours. You're really just warming everything through and giving the flavors a chance to combine because everything's really cooked already. If you're cooking this on top of the stove like I am, you're going to very similarly just add all of the ingredients to either a Dutch oven or a pot like I'm using, stir it until it's well combined, bring it to a boil, and then reduce the heat to low and simmer this for about 30 minutes, and that's it. So I've added my baked beans, my kidney beans, which I did not drain, my lima beans, which I also did not drain, my sliced hot dogs, the onion powder, the mustard, the ketchup, and then I seasoned it to taste with salt and pepper. A quick note about the brown sugar. I think the recipe calls for 3/4 of a cup. I started with just a scant half cup of brown sugar, and that was the perfect amount of sweetness for me. So you might want to start with a half a cup. You can always add more. Just give it a taste, and if you feel like it needs to be a little bit sweeter, you can add it. So that's it. Like I said, super easy. Here are the finished beans. This was really comforting. It was simple. You know, you're just making canned beans with hot dogs. So, you know, it's not going to be anything fancy or gourmet, but it was just a good, comforting, simple meal. It reminded me of eating Beanie Weenies as a child, and that was dinner this night. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out Kat's channel as well as the Fall Soup Collab playlist. Both of those will be linked in the description box below. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.